my father died in April, and I was expecting applause on that, but I guess you had to know him. And, so my dad, we had a troubled relationship. We came to terms at the end, and but it was comforting to go to his funeral. So I'm the eldest of five kids, and it was comforting in an odd way to see that he didn't get along with any of us. Okay, and it was like a bonding experience where we could all kind of bitch about him, but still miss him, at the same time. And so I'd like to tell a couple of stories about him. So to give you a character reference, as I'm the eldest, and when my first son was born, his first grandson, my wife at the time, complications, we had to schedule an emergency C-section 2 days. And I was like, all right, everybody, 2 days. And went to my dad, and it's like, 2 days, you're going to be a grandfather. And he looked at me and he said, 2 days doesn't work for me. I need you to reschedule that. And everything I'm going to tell you, I'm talking for comedic, but it's all true. I was like, no, it's going to be 2 days from now. This is when it has to be. And well, if you're not willing to compromise, we'll have to agree to disagree. And he didn't show up, and it was my fault for not being compromising. So I remember some years ago, I got a big break for me in stand-up comedy, and I got to host a popular club. And if those of you who don't know how stand-up works, is if you're at a real show, you got your host. He's at the beginning of the show, and then the feature is like a local guy who's really doing well, and then the headliner is maybe a minor national celebrity or something like that. And I'm gonna call him Rodney Dangerfield because that's the only impression I know how to do. But it was not like that level whatsoever. It was a guy who had a minor. He was on the TV show and he was a minor character. But anyway, so I was like, Dad, this is my big show, and I want my dad to come and see me. And I said, you got to come and see me. And he's like, well, I'm not available that day. And I, honest to God, I was like, Dad, I haven't told you when it is yet. And, he was like, all right, I said, well, they'll do this for you, and I'm going to do this for you. And it's like, yeah, okay. So show starts at 8, it's 10 to 8, and he and the family aren't there yet. And I give him this frantic call 10 minutes before I'm going up on stage, and he's like, well, we decided that it wasn't convenient for us to make it there at the time that you need us to be. I was like, well, so I need you to talk to, what do you call that, the booker for your little thing, and tell them to hook the show back a half an hour. I was like, no, it doesn't work that way. It starts at 8. Well, all right then, perhaps you can talk to the fellow at the end of the show and tell him that you need to switch places with him. Honest to God. I was like, no, I can't. It doesn't work that way. Well, can you see me? I'm like getting my big break as a host, and I go up to Rodney Dangerfield and say, oh, Mr. Dangerfield, my name's Jeff. I'm hosting the show tonight. Oh, kid, that's a really great thing. Sorry, that's my Rodney Dangerfield. Look, I got this idea. Call me crazy, but I was thinking maybe you would host the show, and I would close it. And he would be, I don't get no respect. All right, I won't tell that story. But so no, I wasn't gonna do that. And he was like, well, if you're not willing to compromise, we'll just have to agree to disagree. And he didn't show. And I don't have a closing joke for them to stir the piss.
Yeah.
So after the funeral, people were telling. This is my last story. People, you know what? Just think of a good memory. Think of a good memory of your dad, and that'll get you through these things. And like, all right, and I do this. This is my good memory. When I was 5 years old, my dad took me to my first Vikings game, and I was very excited. 5, 6 years old, and never been to a Vikings game. It's really very exciting. There's 65,000 people, and we had great seats, and I'm just having the most wonderful times. The fourth quarter, and the Vikings are really losing the game. They're really, really losing. And my dad goes, well, there's 7 minutes to go, let's go. We're leaving early, we're gonna fight the traffic. I'm like, no, Dad, no, if we stay now, we're gonna get caught behind traffic, it's gonna take us another 20 minutes to get home. And I started crying, you know, I'm missing my first game. And the people around us are like, come on, buddy, let the kid watch the game. And they social pressured into making us stay. And I don't know what the heck happened, but with 8 minutes to go, the Vikings somehow scored 3 touchdowns, which is unbelievable. With 1 second to go, they won the game by 1 point, and the fans went absolutely crazy. And my father, he lifted me up in the air. And people are yelling, he lifted me up in the air, and he goes, we could have been home by now. So those are my stories. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it.